is about ready to get us started. And we are underway from Ford Field. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback.
Here we go.
They'll start on the ground with Swift. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. This defense for the Broncos, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Right back to Swift again on second down. Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They're going to look to throw. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he's going to have the Lions first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. The Lions at 7 and 9 now on the year. They were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Now here's a throw. It's complete. Detroit. Well, just zero hesitation from the rookie passer there, partner. He is coming out firing in this opening quarter.
And all the talk leading into this game was that pass rush talking about challenging this guy, getting into his grill, getting into his space. And how about him? Might be his first year in the NFL. They don't see any fear in him at all. How about that big-time throw right out of the gate?
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their 25-yard line. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes, they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time, he uses quickness to make a play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Wilson. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense.
Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means if you want to run it inside, if you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw, because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
He's taken down at the 17-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
6 yards left on 2nd down.
Now Wilson. And this incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Now Wilson on 1st down.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Kamara up the middle. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They need to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get on the football, but you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away, and it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change, a quarterback, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end, because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I wanted to reach out of the booth and snatch that pass myself. That thing floated forever up there. I think that threw off the timing of the receiver. That's why he couldn't get his feet down even though he caught the ball.
You know, Charles, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, me too.
For you. I wanted to see you reach out and catch that.
Yeah, you've heard about my hands, huh?
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They run it again with Kamara. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there.
Got his man, it's Dulcich.
And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
That's taken on the 25. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down of the sack. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
They will run straight ahead with Swift.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge. And that's probably exactly what he's telling him in the huddle right now.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Finds his big tight end, Mo Alley Cox. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. Wilson now off the bootleg. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
Aiden Hutchinson. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. That time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end and have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Wilson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. There he goes, right side. The 30, the 20. And he will bring it back. An interception return for the Lions. Touchdown. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction, had some blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson.
This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That goes for a gain of 31.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again here, Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.
Picked off by Kirby Joseph. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now, think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. Now they send a man in motion right.
Here's Swift.
And he takes this one in for the Lions touchdown.
DeAndre Swift hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara.
And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. To throw is Wilson. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Denver has the first down. The play going for 15 yards.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try waiting to the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Wilson.
Finds Dulcich out left side.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Wilson will throw again. And that is incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this will stay a 3-touchdown game.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield and get a field goal attempt of their own.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Kwan Williams.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
A tough adjustment to the NFL throughout his rookie season, and his problem with turnovers is only exacerbated by his early showing today. That's a couple for him here in this first half, and he's cleared the double-digit mark for the entire season.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
The Broncos take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They look up at the scoreboard, facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that can carry over.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That gain on third down, good for 28.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Kamara with a run on first down, but he's fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. No gain.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Now Wilson on second down. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big gain of 31 on third down. But look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
Deshaun Elliott up to make the play defensively. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
They'll try again on second and goal after going backwards to the 12. This time Wilson will throw.
That's caught left side by Judy.
They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing. All right, they didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need them to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Hurry!
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
Now 3rd and 13.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play.
Broncos 6.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now this is fielded in the end zone.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. And he's going to be tackled inside his 10-yard line. May hear a few words from his head coach on that decision.
62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Kamara. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Consecutive runs of 6 yards gives him a 1st and 10.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for second down.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up. They've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together?
They'll get this out to Kamara. Second and 6. No, scratch that. Second and 7.
A 3-yard pickup brings up second and 7 at the 35-yard line.
Here's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. But probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
The Broncos on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. Again, Wilson.
On the sideline, did he keep his feet in bounds? They say yes. Great job, both feet in, first down.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now Wilson.
Throw over the middle, taken in by Dulcich.
Touchdown! Greg Dulcich, his 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Broncos go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for 1 here. As this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Makes the score Lions 41, Broncos 13.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a 1-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
On second down, Swift.
And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1.
Oh, he's got his tight end, Mo Alley Cox, complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
They go option right on 2nd and goal. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. On play action, they'll throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to get the ball back on the turnover. They hold on 4th and goal.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen him give one up here during his rookie season. And in this case, zone coverage forced the mistake. He's made some strides week to week in how he's handling the different type of coverages that he's seeing. But clearly, there's some growing still to do.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. Throw left side complete. That's Patrick. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
A fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for Detroit,
they'll finish a game below 500 at 8-9 on the year.
And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for Denver,
they wanted desperately to finish above 500, but that will not happen as it is an 8-9 season in the end.
And they'll get their shot at playoff football as they'll be on the road next week as a wild card.